What was the rebuttal? What did we hear?
Yeah, so the rebuttal was a follow-on rebuttal, really, because the first response came Thursday when Adani Group held a meeting with bondholders. But then on Sunday in India, we got a much longer response. And this basically set out to reply to the 88 questions that were raised in the Hindenburg Research report that had alleged accounting fraud, market manipulation. And so Adani said nearly 3/4 of this information, it's already in the public domain. And then the balance of the questions, he says, relate to public shareholders, third parties, baseless allegations. So essentially what he's saying is that he's pretty angry overall about what has happened with Hindenburg Research. And he's saying that the whole thing amounts to nothing but a lie. It's tantamount to securities fraud. So we can't really get through all of the details of exactly what he said because it does come in at 413 pages. But overall, he says Hindenburg is making an attack not just on the company, he's also making an attack on India and its growth ambitions because, of course, Gautam Adani is seen as the Indian billionaire that is closest to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's also someone who's seen as carrying out a lot of Modi's ambitions in areas like green energy. The other point, of course, that he makes is the timing of this is something that's very particular since it coincides with the huge share sale.
Right, exactly. So what sort of impact has this whole thing had on the share sale? A bunch of Indian banks, but also some US players like Jefferies involved in underwriting, Annabelle.
Yeah, so basically this, just to give the high-level details here, so the follow-on share sale is worth $2.5 billion. It's extremely rare for a company as well because shares are being sold at a discount to try and woo those retail investors. So just looking at the different areas that we've seen so far, from the anchor portion, actually the response was quite strong. Companies like Maybank, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, they're among the investors. But as for the overall subscriptions, well, that stood at 1% on Friday. There is still time left to go, and Indian public offerings, investors do typically wait until the last day of the share sale to place their bids, but still there are concerns, of course, around this attack from Hindenburg Research and essentially that it could help to sour sentiment. And then, as you mentioned, there are some questions coming through from more high-profile investors as well, like Bill Ackman, who has already said that he thinks the Hindenburg report has a lot of credibility to it. Well, he's actually now come out with another tweet, and you can see here saying that there are a lot of issues for banks that are involved in this equity sale, including you were just mentioning there, Jefferies, and they do need to do a lot more due diligence, Vonnie, as well.